Jonathan, I think Fast shouldn't just be a standard, 250 gold and off you go, but that's where we are. I mean, it is Alchemist, I suppose. If there was going to be the hero that gets bonus gold, it probably should be him.
Yeah, conceptually it makes sense. I don't know if you take this over the cooldown. I feel like Mixologist at least has some utility. It will always be useful, whereas, your 250 gold is... I mean, you have to really maximize it in lane. Again, it's a faster bracer, which we have here, along with a stick. Quelling Blade, it's a lot of resources to play with in lane. You just need to see that in effect for BEASTCOAST. I mean, all else fails, you're still playing Alchemist. It's not like you miss out by not going Mixologist, so you will still have that early timing and tempo to play with. A late smoke out from BEASTCOAST. There was a bit of an early smoke out from BLACKLIST to get some forward vision, but see if this flanking maneuver from BLACKLIST pays off. From BEASTCOAST.
I mean, for now, not quite. Natsumi just hanging by the tier 1 bottom tower. He'll be okay. And BEASTCOAST still having a gander with this 3-man smoke, but looks like nothing's going to come out of it apart from a free bounty. Natsumi thought about going for the bounty, but decides he best just stay by the tier 1 tower. And he would be right in thinking that way, as we are going to get a 2-for-2 trade on the bounty runes. A nice even start between these two teams. And of course, we will start with the mid lane as per always, where we will see Abed on the mid Storm up against Lumpy on the mid SF. I can only wonder which way you think this one goes.
It's a very even lane if you just play it safe. Maybe a little bit of an edge for Abed if he manages to dodge all the raises and gets a couple of static slide overloads in. And that's the one way we've seen the Storm win out, leveraging that overload. But Lumpy should still have a decent enough time clearing. He has the threat of the raises, even though Shadowmire has been nerfed. It's still really strong in lane. I don't expect this to lean too hard as long as both players play their cards right. Again, an overextension can be detrimental to both ends, so should be holding steady. Rune control is going to be a big aspect of this lane. Much more so for Lumpy if he wants to maintain that Shadow Raise presence. Does have the 2 mangoes set up, but has to be really smart with these raises. Otherwise, once you're out of mana, this is definitely a good lane for the Storm to just keep static sliding and overload charging onto Lumpy, and it just becomes detrimental for the Shadow Fiend. We'll see if any sort of early rotations coming in. A little bit of a cheeky pull from Moose and Tims. Do manage to intercept that pull of Tims. So the creep wave is right in the river. Not the comfiest spot to be in.
Certainly not. Nevertheless, I mean, Tims will probably enjoy himself, and so will Moose. They'll just fight over this creep wave for now. Like, Tims is probably going to be able to pull some creeps away. Perhaps. We'll see if he gets away with any. So he's just trying to force Moose away on the Disruptor, but there's not much he can do, as Moose, of course, has the range advantage. I suppose the thing is, with this kind of top lane for BEASTCOAST, you are still very comfortable regardless of whether your support's there or not. Like Gabby and Tims on the Spirit Breaker Doom, chances are they can't do too much to slow the arc down, as there is going to be a bit of a chase onto Moose, but no lucky bashes coming in. So Tims, unable to really get much going, even getting knocked back just a little bit by the electromagnetic repulsion. And that'll be about it. No bashes, Tims will miss out on a kill. Won't really matter too much. Still a lot of harassment being placed onto Moose. And again, I think BEASTCOAST maybe don't care really so much as long as the arc is farming, but mid lane, Lumpy charges out. The SF does get stunned up. Abed there to follow up with the static slide and the static remnant. And Lumpy, he is down. Abed will be able to secure first blood on the Storm.
I like the way BLACKLIST are playing this early. Again, going aggressive, trying to get as many wins as they can across the map. Already early movement out from Tims just with the level 2 in the charge. They still managed to get the rune out for Abed as well. Again, this mid lane is very rune dependent for both sides. Abed getting the kill, having this EXP advantage to play with. Faster 4 leads into a faster 6. And you have to just be cautious about that. Your rotations on BEASTCOAST aren't that bad, but your side lanes are a little bit more tied up. At the very least, Moose was kind of stuck trying to help out top, and there's not much room to leave Vitali alone on that Centaur. This is still an Ire Gyro. There is still rundown potential with a Rocket Barrage and the Afterburner. Not exactly the safest lane to solo and try to open up space on mid.
Such a concerning way to start the game, though, for BEASTCOAST. Like, giving Abed, of all people, the start he wants on his signature Storm Spirit, of all things. Not exactly the start you would have hoped for here for Lumpy. Of course, Abed already going to have a very nice net worth advantage going into this game 1. There's now a charge coming up from Tim's top lane, going on to Paig. Paig going to be just fine, however. No real big follow-up to come from Gabby. It's kind of going back to my point as well, John. Like, it's the thing I love about Spirit Breaker. Like, Lumpy's never going to feel comfortable in this mid lane as an SF, especially while Arbit's still around. And then as soon as Arbit hits level 6, the lane just becomes impossible. Tim's just lands one charge and you're dead.
Just snowballs from there, and that's, again, exactly how Blacklist needs to play this draft. They're getting a lot of free space for Natsumi. No one's able to collapse down bot early on. Free farm for the Gyrocopter so far. You are getting a lot of space out for Pick as well up top. But the Gyrocopter's timings with an eye are a little bit faster, right? Sometimes you even see some players just with the Falcon Blade plus Javelin, sometimes willing to go in, or Falcon Blade plus one item into the Ags.
Mid lane.
And they just play with relocate opportunities.
Another charge out. Lumpy, you got to play carefully. Tim's actually going? No, he does cancel off in the end. So going for one tier 1 tower hit. We'll take it, but that'll be about it. Then the thing is, you are just consistently making it so Lumpy is just very afraid to get near the creep wave. But Arbit is going to hit his level 6 a lot faster on the Storm. And again, I think these are pretty big issues for Beast Coast to deal with. Because Arbit having a good game is going to enable this draft completely. Like, you're really just reliant on this Storm having a good laning stage, and off you go. You're off to the races.
It's the big one they need, because again, you're not going to get active on Gabby. Onto Doom, he's going to be sitting back and farming. Even if he'd want to join, Doom cooldown early on is significant. So your uptime is all in on the Storm. Do manage to get a nice deep ward here from Tims to watch when the camps are being cleared out by Lumpy. The ward protecting Lumpy has expired as well. So the angles for Tims to find should be a lot easier to play through, again, with that early 6 on Abed. They're looking down bot.
Here they are. Vitaly getting caught out. Not really much he can do but a hoof stop to try and get away, but the tether slow is way too much from Zhao. Rocket Barrage with the bushwhack is going to save here. El Misho buying a bit of time now. Lumpy, he'll TP in on the SF. They'll try for Tims on the Spirit Breaker. One more raise will do the trick, though Tim's still running a little bit too fast to keep up here with Zhao's tether. They missed the raise, but it won't matter. They'll land the bushwhack. They'll take Tims down. They'll miss out on the kill here on Vitaly. And that was a very interesting kind of hero to try and aim for. There's now Arbit. Hold that thought, because Arbit's trying to steal some stacks away, but he'll go for the fight instead here along with Zhao, but they've got moves to back them up, so Zhao dropping low does get taken down, though Lumpy in trouble. Lumpy might just drop on the SF, and he does. Arbit able to secure another. Jump on El Misho, he'll find a double. Nothing really in the way of stopping the Storm right now, as Arbit will go for a run. Charge out from Tim's actually going to stop them from chasing down the Storm, who was completely out of mana. But they can't actually secure a stun onto Arbit, so he'll be just fine to walk away. And like I said, John, I mean, Arbit, with a start like this, it's going to be a very hard game for Beast Coast.
And it is. He's just set up to start making these moves on his own. Very good deep wards here from the side of Blacklist as well. Sentry from Beast Coast, just missing Mark right outside a ring of that OBS. So not going to be able to get the D wards, and that still leaves these stacks in firing line. Again, the big timing for Beast Coast is going to be level 6 on the supports, particularly Moose. They will get the D ward eventually, having to get another sentry down. But they still have the sneaky ward behind the tier 1, tier 2, and that allows a very safe siege. They don't have the best pushing heroes, but they still managed to find that tower at 7.5 minutes in. And that just leads into more opportunities. They're looking top. Pick, he has his 6, but he's not the tankiest yet on this Alchemist.
Such a disastrous way to start the game for Beast Coast, because like Alchemist really doesn't like that mid-tier 1 tower going down this early. Now the map's opened up for Blacklist, they can just start to roam and really ensure Pake never finds that free farm he's going to be looking for during this game 1. Like every time Tim sees him, he could just charge. And chances are you can kill him. You know, as long as you've got a relocate buddy to come with. In Arbit, he does actually get an Arcane Rune now on top, so now you've got a Storm that wants the fight. But any charge target basically dies up apart from maybe the Centaur. This mid lane, Arbit will show himself. Moose is standing by, but there's really not much they can do about it. Like, Moose still level 4, can't really lock him down. But Arbit's taking all the stacks away. Like, how many stacks is this man going to get away with?
They're really hurting that economy of Beast Coast early on. Again, They needed to do this. It's buying so much space out for Natsumi, starting to really build up now on the Jaro. You're getting some early items starting to form up on Gabby, trying to go for the aura play on the Doom, going for a full pipe just to mitigate some of that output that you're going to be expecting from Lumpy. For Lumpy's part, I'm just timing into the Yule's Blink with something like the Yashakai down the line, and Ags is super delayed. Like, this is not the kind of start you want for your SF. Bottom network core, no stacks to play with because of this early ward, again from Tim's, between the tier 1, tier 2 mid. Bot lane, you're not really able to pressure a Gyrocopter as a Centaur. Just a lot of magic damage coming in. You do have the triple bracers up at the very least, so you can sustain, but you can't stop Natsumi. Again, at the least, Pake is free terrain up top. No deep wards from the side of Blacklist in that area yet. Now, even with the tier 1 top cleared out, they're not really playing in that area, so the recovery is there for for Beast Coast. They still have their triangle with the D wards. There is still some of that flash farm coming in for Lumpy as well. And big timing is going to be the 6. Moose is soaking up nicely off these Ancients. You can try to play off of that. A little bit of a smoke out from Abed and Zhao. You do want to make a play happen. Again, right before Static Swarm kicks in.
El Misho does get away. Vitaly, he sticks around. This time around, they're going to have plenty of damage with Abed rotating. The Centaur not going to be anywhere near as tanky. He'll pop the Stampede and try to run away, but there's just no chance. Abed will secure his 4th kill of the game already on the mid-storm, 10 minutes in. Keep in mind, John, I mean, these galvanized stacks, they are going to start adding up as well, as Abed, speaking of the devil, might find himself in trouble now. Glimpse will rather zip away, glimpse back into the Static Storm. Abed surely goes down. They'll relocate some more to help out, but Abed is gone. That is one. It's now charge in, moves. He'll be targeted. Does go down as the Nether Strike is out onto Lumpy, ensuring they get an extra, and the SF cannot TP away. Ooh. Lumpy getting caught by a rocket. He'll have his TP cancelled. He's down. And, I mean, you get Abed, like, it was a kill you desperately needed to find, but it costs you so much in response.
Guess it's my shout.
I suppose they needed it, but I don't think it's really worth it.
Yeah, they definitely needed it. I do agree it's not worthwhile. You get some good activity out from Natsumi and Gabby. Didn't even have to pop the Doom on Gabby with how low Lumpy was. They had to expend everything to catch out Abed.
They're going to try for Gabby. Gabby's a pretty tanky target with that Ring of Tarask up. But they will still move in. Plenty of lockdown. Abed zipping in. Doom is out. They've got the Alchemist. Oh, Pake is down.
Man.
El Misho in trouble. Elm, he is down to boot. Gabby will have a laugh. He'll survive through all of it. And that's another thing, right? Like, every time Doom is just committed onto Alk, he does nothing. Like, he can't heal through it. The Chemical Rage just, it means nothing.
Find bonus target as well.
I mean, why not? They'll at least glimpse Abed away. Moose. He'll get taken down by Tim. Tim's not messing around. He'll want the killers. Now bottom lane, Vitaly trying to run. Will be able to get away for now. But the aggression, John, it's just unrelenting from Blacklist International. Like, they're 9-3 already. 3K advantage. Make that 4K now. And Beast Coast, we talked about their draft. We really liked the Alchemist last pick. On paper, at the very least. The problem is, if you're off to this bad of a start, the Alchemist, it tends to look pretty bad.
And it does. I'm a little bit surprised they forced that move up top anyhow, with Pake around. Not respecting the Doom, not respecting how durable Gabby is at this point with his free farm from that lane. They had the right ideas for that rotation mid, but you should not drag Pake in at all until he's fully itemized up. Right, like at least Radiance Blink BKB, I think is the timing you're going to have to look for here on Pake. Maybe a Linken's over BKB, considering the Doom and the charges that can come out. 4K lead coming out for Blacklist. Even their itemization has leaned into this hyper-aggression. Like, you've got drums up on Natsumi. Charge out.
Tim's, he ventures quite deep with the charge, but he's very confident. Like, with the level 1 Bulldoze plus the Bull Rush facet, he knows they probably can't kill him. Unless moves around with the Disruptor with the Glimpse back. Happy days so far. The Blacklist International continuing to just kind of dominate the game for now. Abed still looking to roam back towards the top lane as they have spotted Pake. You don't have Doom up on Gabby, but he's got it available in 10 seconds. Every time that Doom's up, Pake's life is in danger. So he is at least by his T2 tower right now, and he's got help by him. Beast Coast will be the ones to smoke up. Tims will get spotted. Jump in, but Vitaly, he misses the stuff. Stampede. They'll move it on Gabby instead, but Gabby's got Doom ready, plus a pipe. He's a very tanky boy on this Doom, and now Arbet looking to zip in. Lumpy, he'll be the one to get caught in the SF. He'll try for a Requiem play, and it does land it. Arbet, maybe going too far. He'll go down, so will Gabby. The turnaround is here. Beast Coast, they'll find a team fight. One they desperately required. As Tims will fall to boot. A perfect static storm from Moose to set up into the Requiem of the SF, and well, they really thought they could burst down Lumpy just so darn fast, but that static storm, it made it impossible.
Yeah, and again, this time, Beast Coast were very ready for that defensively, in a good position by their tier 2s. They didn't really have vision in the area, but after that little bit of a miss jump in from Vitaly, they knew the game plan from Blacklist. Again, just entrapping them in such a tight spot. A really good setup coming out there from our supports, from Moose and El Micho to get that direct silence. No BKBs up just yet. That is the next item, or it was the next item on Abed's list. He is opting for Internal Shroud instead. I don't know if that's going to help enough. It will mitigate some of the output here for sure, especially on Lumpy and his burst. But it does feel like the silence is still going to be an issue for Abed when he jumps into the Static Storm. And he does switch back. All right, the BKB is still in the running for Abed. That should help with these jumps, but again, you have to show some respect for that team fight. And one thing as well for the side of Beast Coast, it's not a long set of cooldowns to wait for. Static Storm's back up, Stampede's back up as well if you wanted to play. You've got the Yulet's up on Lumpy, Blink not too far off, and Requiem only about half a minute. So it's going to be up a little bit earlier before the Blink. But again, if they keep baiting Blacklist in like this, that early lead could just vanish for Blacklist if they're not careful.
Oh, it already feels like it has. I mean, it's just a 1k advantage now for Blacklist International and Beast Coast, considering they were 4k behind with an Alchemist on their side. It was pretty dire straits for them, but now it's an even game, I dare say, here for Beast Coast. And with the way things are going, like, they've got the chance to catch up now. I don't particularly think Blacklist International should be slowing down. I still think they're the much stronger team with their draft at this stage of the game. I think they need to go right now. And they are. Tims will smoke up along with Gabby. They've got their Doom up. They're looking at Vitaly in the mid lane. Oh, Lumpy. Bottom lane. May get spotted eventually by Tims and Gabby. He'll show himself on that bottom wave. The charge will be. They really want the SF. Doom committed. TPs are incoming. They've got the Stampede and now the Static Storm. Oh, Moose makes it very hard. He has made it very hard to fight. As they will lose Natsumi. They will lose the IO. Zhao is gone. Gabby's looking pretty dead himself as the Acorn shot will bounce. They'll miss her to pick up a double. But Moose on the disrupt.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So the Static Storm coming in just in the nick of time. Look at this. So we've got the replay. Moose was immediately TPing as he saw the charge in. Had he been the second, had he been the second TP in, that fight would have been all over for Beast Coast.
And again, I get that pressure, right? You've been calling for Blacklist to make a play. I think they need to just wait for a couple of BKBs, like at least the Storm BKB. At least allow Abed a way in and out without caring about Static Storm. Use him to bait out these spells, as you won't really find any BKB on anyone else anytime soon. They're still grouped up here.
Natsumi! Requiem will land, Sharpshooter will be out. They've taken him down another time. That'll be the tier 1 mid tower they look for. And John, I know I said they're going to get active. I never said dive tier 2 towers. Like, we're still 15 minutes into the game. You know? Get active, but not into the tier 2s where they can all TP into. I didn't feel like I needed to say the second part, John. These are professionals we're casting here.
Well, you know, look, when I'm sitting there with Armel, he says he says the same thing sometimes when Blacklist plays, or when TNC plays. Again, they look, Abed already has BKB. They could have waited like an extra half minute to have the Storm join into the action. Now, 3k lead out for Beast Coast. Their Alchemist pretty much fully online with just a Radiance Manta, nothing to worry about in terms of the BKB, as the Doom can only stop one, and Gabby has been very keen on popping that onto Lumpy, but it does feel like if you stop the SF, you still have to take care of this Alk now, who is pretty massive at this point, going into Blink next. Not quite fully stat padded out. But that timing is coming on.
Radiant's
Pyke is
middle
3k
tower
ahead of
is under
Abed.
attack.
Top net worth has recovered nicely on the Alchemist. In comparison, Natsumi has slowed down. He's been taking a much more aggressive stance. He went for the drums, which again felt really good. In that first relocate play right now, it's not feeling like it's doing much. It will still be useful in these wider engagements. Ag's not too far off into the BKB. Just wait these BKB timings out. You can maybe play off of Abed's BKB, but you already know how strong the side of Beast Coast is at this point. The vision game now from BLACKLIST as well is falling a little bit short. They've got that sneaky cliff ward right by the bounty rune, at very least on the south side. They can scout there, but deeper vision has been taken care of. Like, again, they've never touched this top jungle by the tier 2, where Pyke was farming earlier. Now they get a nice smoke outside of vision as well on the side of Beast Coast's end.
Yeah, they've also got a blink out on the way here for Pyke, so if Pyke really wanted to join his team with that blink up, he could. I don't think he wants to, though. It's now BLACKLIST International, they're grouping up to boot. Problem is, a very nice scan is out from Beast Coast. They scan right by the T2 top tower, and they actually get it. So, perhaps assuming there's already a smoke to come from BLACKLIST International, and there is, they should probably play very safely here at Beast Coast. Again, they had info with that scan. They know there's a high likelihood that there is a smoke committed here by BLACKLIST. Lumpy is showing the bottom lane. I'm not sure what the idea is here from Lumpy. Maybe more bait, but his team's not that close by. They're going to try. Yules is out. Here comes the rest of the cavalry. Beast Coast, they've made it in time. Double hoop stop out. Thames is gone. Gabby will barely survive, but for how long? The static storm again. It's dropped on 2. They've got Natsumi in the IO. Zhao is fine for now, though. They'll try on a Pyke. Pyke is all right. But Tally's down. Lumpy's gone a boot. Maybe Beast Coast, they need to run. The fight's over. I thought perhaps they had another one. But Abed on the storm, finding the right targets, ensuring they could not pull off another teamfight victory. Meanwhile, Tim's still having a look for Pyke, finds him eventually, nether strike out. They've got the Alchemist. There's no way for Pyke to get out of this one. He's down.
You can't improve until you make mistakes.
And BLACKLIST, I mean, you know, John, I want to say it was a good fight from BLACKLIST. My thing was, why was Lumpy that deep by the T2 tower? Like, his team got there eventually, but it's not like they were really set up for the fight.
No, I mean, they all had the right idea. They were all going through the gate, maybe trying to set up for Roshan, but that was a very deep decision from Lumpy without the backup. He was pulling back into vision. I guess that was the idea. Kind of force the push, try to play under this ward vision with movement out. It's just a little bit too slow from the gate. They were maybe a little bit earlier onto the gate, like 2 seconds earlier to get the decision. Might have worked out for the way of Beast Coast. Off the back of that, they lose Aegis. Natsumi gets that first secondary life on his way. And BLACKLIST does manage to even game out. Yeah?
Am I saying things? I might have missed something, John. Is Natsumi able to refresh the drum charges because he keeps disassembling it?
Oh!
Is that what he's doing?
I think so.
Because he just refreshed them.
That is
so
interesting.
He's literally able to just use them over and over again, and then what? Disassemble and gets 8 charges again. I think is what I just saw.
Is under attack.
I remember reading something about that in Reddit, but I thought it would be fixed by now. All
Is it
right.
a bug?
Well, there you go.
Radiant's middle tower
I'm pretty sure it is. It ought to be.
Dire's
I
top
do not know.
tower is under
You know what?
You know
Don't
what?
quote me at that. I don't know.
If they could somehow disassemble BKB, you know, we can get the 9-second refresh. on the
Nah.
charges.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, Jari might be back, John.
Dire's
You
top
never know.
tower is under
Hopefully
attack.
not.
I don't think that works.
No.
I don't quite think that works, unfortunately. But would be funny. Would be
I mean,
very funny. You could always have a 9-second
us.
BKB. Beast Coast not having too funny of a time, but they still have room to scale. Right, we've got the Yashikaya coming in for Lumpy into his own Linken's now to protect from that Doom. Got the Linken's for Pyke as well, slowly being formed up into an Orchid Bloodtorn. So you will have ways of just really stopping the Doom. That's been the big issue. If Gabby comes in, locks in one of your big cores, it does feel like they have enough to split that fight up. And Beast Coast are very reliant on landing either a really big bushwhack into Static Storm, or just getting that Static Storm onto multiple heroes while they chase in. And that's easier said than done. BLACKLIST are starting to play a little bit more disciplined overall. Heck, even Zhao is working onto his own BKB to get some relocates out and not be threatened by the control. They are still set to go with this global strat here. Smoke out from BLACKLIST. This is into that Yashikaya timing for Lumpy. Doesn't feel quite ready yet. They are playing a little bit further back. Do have some forward vision coming out here from Blacklist. Not spotting out in the spots where they want to, though. Might not amount to too much here.
Yeah, I mean, not too much vision at the moment, but they are still giving it a crack. Still trying to find themselves a target. And, well, El Misha might show himself here in the mid lane. Looks like he will. Not a really big kill, but they were already smoked. It was about to expire, so they'll just take the free Galvanized stack here for Arvid. Maybe a power rune on top of that. Why the hell not?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
All things being said and done, Beast Coast, I mean, they're finding plenty of farm on Pake, but I just kind of question how long you want to wait now. As Vitali, top lane, will be charged by Tim. Nice hoof stomp on 3 heroes, but it won't really matter. He is certainly just going to die. No Stampede was available. Meanwhile, mid lane, Arvid starting another fight. Lumpy, he got a Requiem off, killing off Zhao, but it's still looking pretty bad for him as Lumpy. They'll at least take the Aegis out of the Gyrocopter. But Lumpy's going to die. Static Storm dropped. Arvid could not give a crap. He'll just wait for it. Meanwhile, the Ark needs to run. Pake should be alright. But Arvid is terrorizing moves at the moment. Eventually he'll find him. Mimicape is out. El Misha will try to save, but it's not going to help. Arvid will pick him off. He wants more. El Misha, the charge into the tier 3 towers. The Nether Strike, it will land. Arvid, he'll zip in. How deep do you want to go? Apparently the answer is very deep. El Misha is now gone. Gabby will take that one for himself. And Blacklist International, I mean, all things being said and done, Jonathan. A great start. A horrible couple fights. And now back to a great game for him.
And this is looking good for Blacklist. Not just, of course, being a good game state right now, 5k ahead up against an Alchemist draft from the East Coast, but overall, just very different from what we saw in those last qualifiers. Even in their wins in Riyadh, it got a lot shakier. That mid-game decision-making is a lot sharper right now, as it seems. Beast Coast, you were talking about timings here. I mean, when you've got an Elk and you're 6k behind, it just never feels great. You have farm, but it's all stuck on this one hero. And he's going for Linken's to defend. He's going into that Orchid, maybe the Blood Torn down the line. You're scaling on Lumpy has hit a little bit of a wall. Forced to go Linken's before the Yags. Just, it's not the ideal you want. They got the scan off on Pake here.
Pake? Gabby's, I don't think Gabby believes it. Where's the charge? No charge? Tim's? Oh, he was charging a creep wave. Classic. Arvid gonna zip in, but the hoof stop. Vitali gonna ensure they can't follow up. But Arvid, he's got full mana again. Pake, he needs to get out. The Stampede will allow him a way out of there for now. Arvid unable to continue the chase. Oh, and John, as a Spirit Breaker enjoying myself, I've got to call out Tim's. I saw him charge that creep wave. They could have gotten a kill onto Pake, but he charged the creep wave. Cheeky Tim's.
Yeah, you know, you get a little bit greedy sometimes. You don't expect to randomly run to the Alchemist. You don't expect to run to the Alch by the tier 1. Who expects that? You can't fault Tim's too badly. As even Gavi, you know, he could have just instantly doomed after one Infernal Blade, didn't manage to do so, unfortunately. So it's not a move you expect. In that case, kind of works out for Beast Coast. They do expend Doom, not really catching anything. The Stampede bails you out. You still get some time to build up. You've got time to try to hit at least, well, the one Linken's already being up in Pake to try to make things simpler. They will go for a smoke out. Got the full Meteor Hammer up on Op-Bed, still BKB ready here.
Very nice smoke break though. They can't even find him. East Coast, they have no idea where Arbed broke their smoke from. So Arbed casually walks out as the tier 2 top tower does indeed fall. The Blacklist International able to get away with a bit more. Counter smoke now up from Blacklist. They want to try and force a fight. And mid lane, Pake, don't show sir. It's not safe. He'll get zipped in on by Arbed. They'll go for the Hoodwick instead. They'll just try to burn down El Misho immediately. And El Misho trying to get away, but Arbed will not leave him alone. He'll land a bushwhack. Battalion with the hoof stop, but it won't matter. Arbed just continues to move forward. Moves us down to boot. Battalion trying to get away with the Stampede, but it's not going to matter. He's the third one to drop. Beast Coast are falling like flies here in this game 1. And Blacklist, they are just, I mean, at this point, I actually don't think they can lose. Like, Pake's farming, I don't think it matters anymore. Like, Pake's just not doing anything with this farm.
No, it certainly isn't yet. Again, he's got that Linken to protect, but not much else to aid in the offense outside of Radiance right now. And they're just not fully set up for this movement out. Again, you can't look for the instant burst on Lumpy. No Ags means just not enough damage, not enough counter control as well with Fear. And that's still a long ways off. Maybe you could start to bank on Pake instead of going for the Orchid, but it does feel like he needs more in the Alk anyhow. So he will have to eat into that for himself. Take a look at that replay again. The movement out, just how much Abed can get done with his BKB threat. The counterplay just isn't there.
The worst part is he didn't even BKB John. He held up the whole fight. It was just the threat of the BKB that Abed was holding on to. Like, he literally did not have to pop it once. He's still got an 8-second charge of a BKB.
You can't improve.
By the
until you
way,
make
for
mistakes.
confirmation's sake, by the way, John, Natsumi is indeed disassembling the drums and getting 8 charges every time. So that's why drums is broken on Gyro. I have confirmed. I literally watched him do it twice now. So there you go.
So dumb.
Which does make it
Oh,
very
you gotta
worth it, John.
appreciate that.
If you can just get unlimited
Oh, it
charges.
does. Oh,
Top
it
lane?
certainly does. You don't need those dumb front drum boots.
Lumpy. Oh, Lumpy. The Glimmer Cape that may have saved his life. Maybe Tim's.
Ooh.
No, they won't find him. The blink away, Lumpy. Lumpy's fine. El Misho. The game sense from the supports. He knew they were coming.
Radiant
He
are
knew.
scanning.
It's like, this is literally how my pub games go, John. This is what I have to do to just win a game. These idiot calls that they never know.
Oh, Michael Phoenix.
Every time.
No need to keep trying to sell yourself. No one's going to be picking you up for a team anytime soon. You don't need to. You don't need to try to sell yourself here, Mikey. 21 to 12.
That'd be a great team.
Beast
Mikey.
Coast. If you
Charge?
say so. I don't know about that. Moves.
Oh, Moose. He's a big target. That Moose is probably the only guy that can salvage a team fight at this stage. Is Arbet still going pretty far forward with the arcane route he did have active. Relocate is out. Natsumi going to find Vitali. Call down is committed. Charges out from Tim's. Vitali just unable to go away as they pop the Requiem, but it means nothing. Everyone just gets their BKBs used up, and the Requiem just literally does 0 damage.
Yeah. And Tim's kind of
Pake?
stuck in an awkward spot off the Nether Strike Hall.
Pake? He's alright. Pake's alright this time. Another drums,
that's
another
bad.
8 charges for Natsumi.
Yeah, this is so dumb to watch. So dumb to watch that, but hey, if it works, it works, you know? Just keep playing that gank game. They've got the Shivas up now on Gabby. Even more damage, a little bit more control in the middle of these fights. They are going double Shivas. Gabby and Abed are both... Interesting enough, it's Gabby and Abed, but, you know,
Okay.
there's going to
That's
be a
all
little
right.
bit of a talk about double Shivas, perhaps.
That talk's one way to put it, John.
Talk with your fists, you know? Best communication.
Yeah. East Coast. Grouping up again. Perhaps a 5-man smoke to come. Lumpy will clear out the bottom creep wave, and they are indeed going to smoke us far. Running towards the bottom side of the map. I mean, there is a Roshan now that is available in that bottom right corner.
Dire are
The Beast
scanning.
Coast, of course, do not want to allow this Roshan to go Blacklist International's way, because that would make things extremely hard in this game one. Problem is, Gabby, already on the high ground of the Twin Gates, going to make it very hard to force a fight. Lumpy is going to move in. No smoke broken quite yet. They'll see the Roshan. Gabby's going to move down now. Scouting out with the Shivers. He'll find nothing. There's Gabby's, rather Arbit's Shivers now is available. So you've got 2 just in case. You know? This is why they needed it, John. In case Gabby missed the first one. Arbit. Let me land the second.
Oh.
Here we go. He does. He scouts at the whole squad. He knows exactly where they are. Vitali's been caught. The Centaur in trouble. The Centaur is down. Meanwhile, Gabby, he's holding everyone else back. It's 4 versus 1, and Gabby's winning. It's a zip forward. Arbet finds more. On a Pake they go. They've loved themselves an Alchemist, and they've got one. Pake is gone. Onto the IO. Gabby will hand out the tips. They'll find another. El Misha to drop. What are you meant to do here, John? It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, they had the right idea going for this long flank behind Roshan, but Abed, knowing something's up, gets that jump forward with a BKB.
middle.
There's no threat to stop him. Oh, not
Lumpy.
done yet.
Yeah, Lumpy. Lumpy's the only one done, I think, here in this game one, John. Lumpy gonna go down. A quick relocate play from Blacklist International as the glimpse back. Moose. A little bit cheeky, ensuring Roshan cannot really continue along with Natsumi, but Abed says, I don't care, I'll take the 8. I'll do it. I'll win the game myself, don't worry, boys.
It's got all demand in the world coming in from Zhao. No problems here. A little bit of a slower process, but it's not like Beast Coast can come in anyhow. We'll even leave that Aegis on hand for Natsumi off the TP. Have that secondary life on the Gyrocopter once more. Not too far away as well from the full Satanic here for Natsumi to hold his ground up front. Full Daedalus done as well. 27-12, 20k lead for Blacklist Beast Coast. Just not finding that start they'd want. You know, I think this just kind of stems down to that early mid aggression. And Lumpy couldn't have a good time. Tim's with a good charge. The threat onto mid, the sniping of the stacks, the good forward vision they had between the tier 1 and tier 2. Very hard to de-ward. Just made this game super uncomfy for their tempo. Like, the tempo had to come in from the SF. And there was enough pressure that Paik joins in early, and you know, his early timings as the Alk were pushed further and further back. Yes, he's still number 2 in net worth right now, but the fact that he's number 2 is already bad signs here for Beast Coast. Again, the scaling has to kick in somewhere, but you go full Magic SF, you're relying on your 1 to really dish damage. It's just not there. There's no sustain for Paik, even with that Lincolns.
This is the part of the game where you start to tell me, John, that this goes all the way back to the facet, right? The plus 250 gold, the seed money. This is why they lose. You were telling me earlier.
I mean,
it. You're vindicated, John. Well done.
I want to say, but it's really just Alchemist's last pick into the Doom last pick. I think is a real big thing. But you know what? Sure.
I'm memeing, John. No, John, you're wrong, right? Don't try to find a way to actually prove that you're right. Paik. Oh, Paik. This is my dream, John. Just following the pos one in biz. Here you go, Paik. Off you go, Paik. Back to the drawing board for the Alk. I mean, I agree with your sentiment, John. I don't know what Beast Coast can do in this game 1 at this stage. I think Arbit's too big, Natsumi's too big, Gabby's too big. Speaking of Gabby, he's found moves here on the Disruptor. Gabby will happily take the kill himself and start the voice line spam once again. And the tier 3 bottom tower, of course, now going to be completely under siege. Beast Coast, 2 heroes down, cannot really think about defending. This game's gone so badly for Beast Coast. Literally everybody but Gabby has a BKB on Blacklist International. But even Zhao found a BKB.
Oh yeah, that was his second item pickup. He just rushed it. Just wanted that protection. They understand the assignment. All of this team fight for Beast Coast is stuck on that Static Storm, and all of their damage is stuck on Requiem. With BKBs, none of that matters. You're not getting Disruptor Ags anytime soon, although you are trying on moves. 2 racks down, 1 more to go. It does feel like the last stand here for Beast Coast. They'll go for the smoke. See if they can connect anything here.
I appreciate the last team fight they are going to go for here in this game 1. Natsumi, he's not the target you want to start on. Like, he's still got the Aegis up. It's going to be very hard to burst down the Gyrocopter of all things with a Satanic Aegis.
Oh.
They do jump in, Vitaly.
Oh,
nice hoop stop. The Wreck Hook to follow up as well, but is it enough? Not quite. Only Zhao falls. Vitaly is down. Arbit will kick off Misho. Paik will jump in for another stun, but the Doom is out immediately from Gabby. At least the Alchemist will be saved by the Glimmer as Gabby just going really far forward. Arbit zipping right in. The Static Remnant. It's too much damage. A complete whitewash here for this game 1. And this is with the draft that you and I kind of both agreed Beast Coast should be able to make some magic happen with, but Blacklist International, at least for this game 1, Jonathan, they had a game plan. And they executed that game plan very well.
That they did. They play off the back of this great support potential from Tim's. Early rotations out to really win out Abed's lane.